Welcome to Ask the Lawyer radio podcast with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This podcast features a recording of our most recent radio show aired weekly in New York City. We hope you enjoy the show, which features news, views, and interviews on matters such as immigration, personal injury, bankruptcy, divorce, family law, estate planning, wills and probate, deed transfers, civil rights, criminal defense, workers' compensation, and taxes, both individual and business. You can contact us at 855-768-8845 or visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. You have questions? We've got the answers.
The origins of what is good for the goose is good for the gander. The phrase, what is good for the goose is good for the gander, is a common English proverb that means what is acceptable for one person should also be acceptable for another, especially when the individuals are in similar situations. It is often used to emphasize fairness and equality, particularly in relationships, gender roles, or situations where one person may be accused of double standards. To understand its deeper significance, it is essential to explore its linguistic roots, historical context, and the evolution of its meaning over time. Linguistic roots and early usage. The origins of the proverb date back to the English language of the 17th century, though its conceptual roots likely go even further. The phrase uses the word goose to refer to a female goose and gander to refer to a male goose. This distinction highlights the gender-based analogy embedded in the saying. Although the exact source is not definitively known, early recorded usage points to proverbs that were popular in the English countryside. One of the earliest literary references appears in John Ray's 1678 collection of English proverbs, a complete collection of English proverbs, where he includes a similar phrase. The sentiment expressed was already well established by then, indicating that this saying had likely been part of the oral tradition for some time before it was documented. Symbolism and meaning. The phrase essentially points out that if something is considered suitable or acceptable for one person, it should be equally so for another, regardless of gender or other differences. The use of geese as symbolic animals reflects their visibility in agrarian life, where both male and female geese played similar roles in flocks. However, the deeper symbolism lies in the societal expectations of the time. In early modern England, as well as in other cultures, there were often stark differences between the behaviors deemed acceptable for men versus women. This proverb, therefore, subtly critiques the notion of unequal standards and suggests that fairness should prevail regardless of gender. Cultural evolution and modern interpretation. Over the centuries, the phrase has retained its core meaning but has been applied in broader contexts. In modern usage, it often appears when someone highlights hypocrisy or double standards, particularly in personal relationships or gender politics. For instance, it might be invoked when discussing equal expectations in a romantic partnership or workplace environment. The saying became especially relevant in feminist discourse during the 20th century, as women increasingly challenged societal norms that favored men. In this context, what is good for the goose is good for the gander became a rhetorical tool to argue for equal treatment and responsibilities between men and women. Contemporary examples and usage. Today, the proverb can be heard in various settings, from casual conversations to legal arguments. For example, if one partner in a relationship is allowed to maintain friendships with the opposite sex, the same privilege should logically extend to the other partner. In politics, it is sometimes used to call out double standards when a policy benefits one group but is denied to another. Conclusion. The proverb, what is good for the goose is good for the gander, encapsulates a timeless principle of fairness and equality. Its origins reflect a long-standing awareness of gender roles and societal expectations, while its continued relevance highlights the human desire for consistent and just treatment. By understanding the historical and cultural background of this saying, one can appreciate how a simple phrase rooted in rural life has transcended centuries to become a powerful critique of inequality.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.